Welcome to the first ever edition of the Cardinals Postgame Show. I'm Stevie Taylor, alongside with John Gidley. What a game we witnessed between your Upper Dublin Cardinals and the Abington Galloping Ghosts. The drama was high from start to finish between these two great football teams. Unfortunately, Abington came away with the 27-20 victory. Right out of the gate, Abington took the lead on an 80-yard kickoff return.
Tonight, on a beautiful Friday night in September, they look for payback. The kick is underway, and we're off. Bobble there,
Number
and it'll be
7,
returned.
Joanne Sewell with the return.
Breaks the tackle across the 30, cuts across the 40, across the 50. It's a foot race, and he's going to be in the end zone for a touchdown, and this is very reminiscent of the start of last year against Abington.
A few minutes later, Jordan Neely, who has owned the Cardinals over the last two games, returned a punt 90 yards for another ghost touchdown. Before they knew it, the Cards were down 13-0. However, they did not panic. Ryan Stover led the Cards down the field and found Matt Thompson on a beautiful 35-yard touchdown pass to make it a 13-7 game.
Absolutely.
So Stover in the shotgun. He'll roll to his left, going deep. He's got Thompson open. First down and a lot more. Inside the 10, inside the 5, and Matt Thompson is in for the touchdown, and the Cardinals respond, and they are right back in it.
Just before the half, Khalif Lee took it in from a yard out to put the Cardinals up 14-13 going into the halftime break.
You feel like you're right back in it because you got the ball.
Yep. So we're finally back out of the huddle. It's 3rd and 1 from the 1. Stover gives. And is he into the end zone? Yes, touchdown Cardinals. That was number 26, Khalif Lee, with his first touchdown of the night.
Later in the second half, with the Cardinals trailing 20-14, Will Durr made an extraordinary catch to tie the game at 20. However, the extra point was blocked. Abington appeared to be offsides on the block, but there was no penalty, and the game remained deadlocked at 20-20. Late in the game, Jordan Neely, the thorn in the Cardinals' side, made a great play to intercept Ryan Stover and set up the game-winning touchdown.
9 for the Cardinals. Stover in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. Fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, looking, gets rid of it. Thompson's deep downfield, and it's intercepted. Intercepted, Thompson tripped, and now a chance to return for Abington. And Abington across the 30, across the 20, and tackled from behind at the 20.
The Cards had a chance to come back, and Ryan Stover led them down to the Abington 25, where they had one last shot at the end zone. And with that, the Ghosts were victorious 27-20. The win gave Abington head coach Tim Sorber his 100th career win, and we'd like to congratulate him on the milestone. But Stevie, let's talk about this game a little.
Yeah, there were a lot of expectations and a lot of anticipation going into the game, and it certainly it even exceeded that, obviously, with it coming down to the final play. It was back and forth the whole way. But what do you think one of the main reasons the Cardinals came up short was?
Well, I think the main reason had to be the Abington defense stopping the key running back tandem of Khalif Lee and John Lee, who had great stats over the previous two games, both wins against Coconut Creek and Truman.
That's right.
And they were virtually shut down this past Friday night.
That's right. Last season, and as you said, the first two games, they had been so powerful, leading the offense. But unfortunately, I mean, the Ghosts, you have to credit them. That was their game plan, to take away the running game. And they did that. They did a great job at that. That put a lot of pressure on Ryan Stover, and he played well. He really did. But unfortunately came up short. And the Ghosts, they took away that running game, and when that happens, it takes away the passing game. The Ghost defense was able to just play the pass because the Cardinals got behind. And we saw early in the game when the Cardinals did have a little bit of a running game, they had that play action fake and that beautiful touchdown to Matt Thompson. That's what can happen when the running game is working. It can open up play action and open up deep plays down the field, which is what the Cardinals were so good at last year and so good at early in this year. That's what they need to do to keep moving forward against now as we get into the conference schedule, get that running game going and open up the passing game.
I think another key was the two thorns in the side of the Cardinals defense, Julian Sell and Jordan Neely, absolutely put on clinics.
Well, they kept Sal limited for the most part, but eventually they got wear down, and in that fourth quarter he ran wild, had a few big runs. And then, as you mentioned, Jordan Neely, always the thorn in the side. Last year in the playoff game, he had 2 kick returns. This year, he had a punt return for a touchdown, and he had 2 interceptions, including the one that set up the game-winning touchdown. But the Cardinals, it was an impressive game. Coming into a hostile environment, it was very loud. A great showing from Abington fans, great showing from Upper Dublin fans. It had a playoff-like atmosphere in September, and they came away with the close loss, but it'll really give them a lot of momentum going into the conference schedule.
Yeah, and I think also we didn't mention before, it was a playoff rematch of last year. Abington won that playoff game 55-25 over Upper Dublin, and luckily it was a closer game than that, and it was a warmer game than that as well.
It was a lot warmer and a lot closer. Upper Dublin played a lot better. This Abington team beat PW 23-8. They pretty much dominated them.
And they beat Northeast, so.
That's true. And so to see the Cardinals really to stay with the Abington team has to give them confidence going into the conference games this year against PW and against the good teams like that.
Sure.
So next week, the Cardinals have their home opener against the Cheltenham Panthers, a team they dominated last year, 42-14. And John, what do you expect to see on Friday night in the home opener?
Well, I think I'm pretty sure the running back tandem of Khalif Lee and John Lee is going to come back. I mean, we saw last year they won 42-14, as you mentioned. So the Cheltenham defense isn't as dominant probably as the Abington defense.
Right.
So Khalif and John Lee should probably come back to have good games.
Abington is a much stronger defense than Cheltenham is.
Absolutely.
And I look for the defense to really shut down Cheltenham's Cheltenham's offense like they did last year. Their defense was just extraordinary on Friday night against Abington. They had multiple 4th down stops. They were on the field a lot, but they only gave up 14 points because 13 of the 27 points were on kick returns.
Yep.
The defense really shut down Abington's offense for the most part.
And being dominant against a team like Abington is certainly a good momentum builder heading into a game against Cheltenham.
Yeah. So Friday night at the new renovated turf field, Cardinal Stadium, Friday night, 7 p.m., your Upper Dublin Cardinals will take on the Cheltenham Panthers. Again, final score of last Friday's game, Abington 27, Upper Dublin 20. We'd like to thank you for viewing, and we'll see you next week after the Cheltenham game. That's it.